We are in a very isolated place. I mean, really at the edge of the country. Working here is like being on Mars. And yet we're connected to the rest of the country by the oil we produce and the pipeline that brings it to the consumers in America. I work in Prudhoe Bay, which is located on the northernmost coast of Alaska, 250 miles north of the Arctic Circle. A normal day for me, it might be 40 below, and the wind is blowing, and it cuts you to your core. When the hairs inside your nose freeze, it's pretty clear that Mother Nature is in charge. I was born and raised in Alaska, and I had the opportunity to travel around the world earlier in my career and see some really neat, special places. I chose to come back to Alaska. I mean, I get the opportunity to work in the largest oil field in North America, and that's a cool thing. That's also a technological challenge for people like myself, the engineers and others that I work with, to go and get that oil out of the ground. You guys, the expectations are up here. So let's talk about the operations we're going to do today for just a minute again. As a BP operations superintendent, I oversee 4 of the 7 drilling rigs that BP has working on the North Slope of Alaska. In the early 90s, as this field aged, we found ourselves with wells that were no longer productive, but were essentially great wells. They just didn't produce any oil anymore. BP developed coiled tubing drilling technology here in Alaska, the first place it was ever done, to drill to hidden pockets of oil in the ground and solve that problem. We have a continuous length of pipe that's spooled onto a reel. You can see that pipe over my shoulder right there. This is just like a reel of garden hose. We can go and re-enter an existing well because the diameter of the coil is so small, enter an existing well and sidetrack it without having to go and change the tubing or pull into the old tubing out of the well. Coiled tubing drilling by itself has produced over 300 million barrels of oil for America, for our country. That technology developed here has spread around the world. Some jobs that you work in may or may not make a difference in the big picture, but working here in Alaska, we're providing oil to meet America's energy needs, and that's a vital thing.